Hello there, my loyal members of the herd. It is I, Elbaphant. Over here. Yep, just like that. Good. It is I, Elbaphant. Welcome to today's video. Oh, I don't feel so good. So as I'm sure you know, Bloxburg updated on Thursday, and so today I'm going to be going over all of the update secrets that I have found and that you guys have helped me find in the new 0.12.6 Bloxburg update. So the first kind of update secrets is that they actually increase the speed of the mopeds at the pizza delivery job. So as you can see, you go so much faster now. That's one thing that we had wanted for many years, is faster mopeds, or even just like another vehicle, or even being able to use our own car to deliver pizzas. And we finally got it. Now it's not really a big deal because they reworked the paying system anyway, so it doesn't matter how fast you go. And in fact, the reason I believe you go fast is so that your efficiency doesn't drop in the amount of time it takes you to get from a pizza and back. Just a little note, the mopeds now go faster. And I'm also realizing that I have yet to really look into the delivery person job, because I know they kind of changed how much money you make and stuff like that, but I haven't really looked into it yet. I still plan to later this weekend. But as you can see, there is a max per minute, which I can kind of already tell you that you make less, because like delivery person, I used to make about $3,000 a pizza, and a pizza took about a minute-ish on average. Some took longer, some took less, but on average about one pizza a minute, which was $3,000, so I was making almost $3,000 a minute. So if it caps it out at $2,600, that does sound like it's a little bit less. But again, I do plan to look into it this weekend, not only this job, a couple of the other jobs, and I'll let you know what I find. Then the next little secret on my list is that there's actually a new mattress. So as you can see, if we go over to the old mattress, there's now a little plus icon here, so if you click on it, you can get a new mattress, which is really nice. When the update came out, I know a lot of people, including me, were wanting like just a plain regular mattress, so I'm very glad they added that. The next secret is that they changed the color of the host chat tag. So if you have a private server and you now wanted to type something in, like if I were to say hello, as you can see, it's no longer the bright green that it used to be, it's now this purple. So just so you know, if you're the owner of the server and you have your host tag on, it'll now appear this purple color. There's also a new content creator tag. I'm not exactly sure if that was added in this update or maybe before, but this was the first update since the content creator program was like introduced. So you could probably just go to one of the content creators videos and they'll probably mention that they got the content creator tag. But I do know, because I joined Glossy's neighborhood the other day when she opened up her diner for 50,000 subscribers. I'll throw up some screenshots so you can see there is a bright green content creator tag, which is probably why host was changed to purple. Now that I think about it, I think content creator now has a green. It's slightly different than the host screen, but I think so that those aren't too similar. The content creator tag is green and the host tag is now purple. And then the next secret on my list is that there's actually another mouse animation, because obviously you can just click this restaurant, click the question mark, it'll put out a thing of cheese, and it'll automatically play a mouse animation. But just like the mouse hole, if you wait and don't put out cheese, there is a different animation when the mouse just comes out naturally. I'll go ahead and play the animation for you to see. Also, as I was recording another part of my update secrets video, I saw in the distance the mouse come out, and I quickly went over to it in free cam, but I didn't really get much of it. But there was totally a slightly pink mouse, which I thought was interesting, because we've had orange mice, we've had brown mice, gray mice, but a pink mouse was interesting. I also thought it was interesting how like the mouse was totally like standing up against the black part of the door, which is supposed to be open. I just thought that was kind of interesting. It almost made the mouse look like he was a mime or something. And then the next little secret has to do with the new towing fee, because the towing fee and actually the hospital fee, which I'll talk about a little bit more later, all work the same as house bills. So as you can see, there's this automatically pay bill, so I have that on, and as soon as the timer ends and the car is towed, as you can see, it just automatically charges me $875 because I have premium, so it's cut in half, whereas if you don't have premium, it's going to be $1,750. But then if you go ahead and turn automatic pay bills to off, and then just wait for the car to despawn, and while I go ahead and wait for my car to be towed, I want to talk a little bit about a bug that is in the game and a way to kind of get around it. So right now, if I were to give this, for example, a random color like this blue, and then later I wanted to come back and see what the custom color was, if I press on the color wheel, as you can see, it's 255, 255, 255. It'll do that for every single color. For example, this brick color over here, if I wanted to check what the color code is, it's the same thing. Or this cobblestone color over here, same thing. So obviously that makes it really hard to tell somebody your color code, but there is a way to kind of get around this bug. So let me grab another wall and let me color this a random color like this green. And then if I go in right now, it's all 255, 255, 255, so I can't see it. Same with this one. I'll actually use use this blue as an example, but if you go ahead and then press check mark, as you can see, it'll now show up in your most recent 6 if you go to paint it again. So now once you're back in the paint menu, go ahead and click on that most recent color. See how it's kind of outlined in this light blue now? That's what you want. Then go to the color wheel, and as you can see, it gives me the RGB. So let me just do that one more time just in case that was kind of confusing. Here's this custom brown color here. I'm gonna go ahead and click the check mark. Then I'm gonna go back into paint mode. I'm gonna click this brown color, and as you can see, it's not highlighting in blue because it's highlighting over here because it's one of my saved custom colors. But if I now go to press the color wheel, as you can see, now I have the RGB. So that is the way to get around it. Hopefully they fix this bug soon because it's kind of an inconvenience. But in the meantime, until that is fixed, that is a way to kind of bypass the bug. Okay, so I was accidentally in build mode when my car got towed. I was still talking about the bug, but I'll throw up a little picture of what popped on my screen, and you can either press pay or not pay, and I clicked off on accident. But then as you can see, it says bill added, $875 added to bills, and then I got a notification about my house bills. So if you go to your house, there's no longer the pay bills button, there's now a show bills button, and if you press on that, it'll show you all your bills. So it'll show you your house bills, your hospital bills, and your towing bills. So as you can see, I have my towing bills here. I can press pay, or if I had multiple, I could press pay all. So that's what happens if you have automatically pay bills turned off. And then if you have a towing bill that is not paid, if you go to try to drive your car, like if you press use, as you can see, this prompt will show up saying you haven't paid your towing bills in time. Because of this, all your vehicles are locked. Interact with your mailbox to pay the towing bills. So you can either pay it right here, or go to the show bills button, or go over to your mailbox and then press it, and as you can see, there is pay bills. Also, another thing to note about the bills is that they will just rack up. So if you didn't pay your towing bills, let's say it's $875, and I were to let my car be towed again, it would add another $875 on top of that, and it would keep adding until you pay your bills. So your bills do accumulate, just so you know. And so the next chunk of secrets kind of have to do with the new pre-built house catalog that they added in the update, as well as how they kind of changed things. So for example, if you now press the little house icon, there will be this like house swap button here. If you go ahead and click that, you can actually load in any other plot from this plot without having to go to main menu. So I can totally skip the having to load into main menu and then loading into a plot and just go straight to the plot. So let's say I wanted to go to my pizzeria, it'll just do a loading screen. Instead of taking me to the main menu, it'll just instantly load in that plot. So that's amazing. Skips a lot of time sitting in the loading screen. The other thing that you can do from your plot is buy a new plot. So as you can see, if I press buy plot, it'll ask me if I want to buy another plot. But instead of buying a plot from this button, I'm going to go ahead and press this button that brings us to the pre-built house catalog. And as you can see, if I press on any of these, I can go ahead and buy the house straight from here. It'll ask me if I want to replace the existing plot or buy a new plot. So I'm going to first buy a new plot, and then I'm going to look later at the buy an existing plot. So first thing I'm going to do, I'll just do the empty plot, and I'm going to go ahead and press buy, and I'm going to press buy new. Are you sure you want to buy this for 300 block bucks? Yes. And I'll just change the name of the plot to empty, and then it'll take us to the loading screen. And as you can see, now I am loaded into a brand new empty plot. But now I want to see what happens when you choose the like replaced existing plot option. So I'm just going to go here, and I'm going to place some random things, like I'll place this oven. Here we can place a TV and place some walls, because I'm curious, like when we have stuff down, does it just like bulldoze the plot? And if so, do we get money from it, or does it just completely wipe whatever's on the plot? I do want to place something that's a little expensive. Like maybe I'll do the $5,000 computer, just because I want there to be enough money that we can see whether we got money back or not. So we now have these things in our plot, and if I go to the house swap button, go to the pre-built house catalog, and just because it's free, might as well just replace the plot with an empty plot and see if we get some money back. So I press buy, and then I'll press replace existing plot. Oh, and then you can actually select the plot to bulldoze, so it does look like it's gonna bulldoze it, which is nice. You'll get your money back. So I'm gonna go ahead and select my empty plot to bulldoze. Are you sure you want to buy this for, it says question mark, but that's because it's free. I'll say yes. Change the name. I can't do the same name, but I'll just leave it at empty plot. Okay, and then a prompt shows up. Are you sure you want to bulldoze your plot? You will receive this much money. I'll press yes. Type in your username, just like you would bulldoze in build mode. And there you go. You got the money back for bulldozing, and you now have a plot. In this case, it's empty. But if you swapped it out for a pre-built house, you would now have the pre-built house. So just, you know, that's kind of how it works. I wanted to test it out because I know personally I would be a little nervous, like pressing replace or something like that, not really know what's going to happen to my plot. But now I want to talk a little bit more about this house menu, because they added some new things and kind of changed things a little bit, and just want to kind of go over the things they changed, as well as what certain things means. Like one thing that they changed, which isn't necessarily a huge secret, but you may not have noticed it, is that they actually number your plots now, and they're numbered in order of when you bought them. So for example, here's my number 1 plot. As you can see, I have it labeled 1, but this is my 4th of July celebration I made for 2022. It's not the very first thing I built, but it's just on the first plot that I ever had. So that's number 1, and then as you can see, the one I just got is number 29. So it's in order of when you bought the plot. Your plots also now show up on here in order of most recent. So as you can see, I'm on my empty plot, obviously being my most recent, and before that I was on my pizzeria plot, and before that I was on the plot I had all the update items on, which is what I used for the update, and before that I was on my Halloween mood station, which yes, it's Halloween. I haven't changed it for spring or even winter. I just skipped winter entirely. But this is my mood station. I used this to work just a little bit ago. So it just, it is in order of when you last loaded in your plot. And the last little kind of secrets, just kind of clearing some stuff up, has to do with the pre-built houses. Of course, all of the pre-built houses were built by people. So because the empty plot isn't actually built by somebody, they made it so that it says it's built by BLOXBURG, which is kind of interesting. Just a little kind of secret, I guess. It's pretty obvious, but instead of just leaving it like blank, they decided to have BLOXBURG be kind of like the creator of the plot. Also, of the original starter houses, the only two that stayed are the original Happy Home of Robloxia that everybody starts off the game with, and then the Cozy Cottage, which I believe is the next one up. So kind of interesting that they decided to keep those two out of all of them, but we do still have the cheapest starter houses. But besides that, all of the old ones are gone, and we now have all of these new ones. I'm assuming they kept these because the houses that all of the BLOXBURG content creators built are worth a little bit more money, and they don't really want maybe players starting with that much of a house, so I'm wondering if that's why they kept it. But moving on, we have one more little secret that has to do with this pre-built house menu, and that is, as you can see, as we begin to scroll further, we'll start to see these green hammers, and I'm pretty sure what they mean is if it has a game pass. So as you can see, if I were to press on this one, Nature's Nook right here, that does not have the green hammer, this house was not built using game passes, so you do not need game passes to purchase the house. But if we go to like this Rancher's Retreat with the green hammer, as you can see, large plot was used, and so you'd need large plot to be able to buy this house. I also am curious, so I'm wondering, for those of you who do not have the game passes to buy the house, is the hammer red? And is the hammer just green for me because I can buy it, but maybe it's red if you can't, letting you know you can't buy it? I'm curious. I also wonder if it like just will not let you buy it, or if you press buy it, it'll like prompt you with the game pass, letting you know you need to get it to get the house. I'm not sure, but I'm very curious, so if you do know, definitely let me know in the comments. But then we have one last kind of little secret, and it has to do with fainting. So as you can see, we are about to faint here in just 2 seconds, and then once you do faint here, I'll look at my moods real quick. They're all very low, 0, 0, and 14. But the next kind of little secret is that as soon as you are done fainting and you kind of like wake back up, obviously we were charged the fee, and I'm just gonna go and press add to bills. But as you can see, all of my moods were just bumped up to 50%. So when you faint, to prevent you from like instantly fainting again, they do bump up your moods automatically to 50%. And then this kind of dark green area, as well as these hearts, are because I didn't pay my bills. So as you can see, if I press show bills, there's my hospital bills. I have not paid them. So I'm not exactly sure what this means. I'm actually gonna try this out. I'm curious if we like can't boost our moods all the way. Let's see, we're gonna increase our fun. I wonder if it'll cap out right here. Let's see, if we hover over it, it says pay hospital fee to remove. So I wonder if it caps you out at like maybe 90% and you can't get to 100%, which means you earn less when you're working. So I think that's the way to like get you to pay your bills. You won't earn as much working because you can't fully boost your moods, which means you won't earn as much when you're working. So yeah, I capped out at 90% and it won't go any higher. So that's very good to know. And if you want to avoid all that, again, you can just turn on automatically pay bills. So every time you get charged a bill, it'll just automatically charge you. You don't have to worry about paying it and things getting locked. And then on the topic of fainting, I'm also very curious. I tried testing it out. I've only done it once, so I'm not sure if it's like the same every time, but it looked like my moods were in total altogether, if you add them all up, about 60%. That's when I got the notification that I was going to faint. So I'm curious if you get a notification that you're going to faint at 60% as well. Also, a really interesting thing. I wanted to try fainting as a baby because we do know that fainting was added so people could not AFK a job and farm a bunch of money, but babies can't work because they're too young. So I wanted to try it and see if they fainted, and it turns out they do. And another interesting thing, I would have thought that there'd maybe be a different animation, but no, it's literally the exact same animation. But I'll go ahead and play the animation of the baby fainting just so you guys can see it.
And yeah, I know I'm all alone, lie to myself cause I can't let go, cause it's the hardest pill to swallow, knowing you ain't coming back at all. So
Yeah, it's the exact same as an adult, and if the baby can faint, I'm confident that you can faint as every age. So just so you know, if you thought that turning into a baby or toddler or whatever was getting out of fainting, that unfortunately is not the case. But anyways, those were all of the secrets that I have found and that you guys have helped me find in the new 0.12.6 BLOXBURG update. It was a little bit dry, there weren't really that many secrets, and most of them weren't super secretive, but at least we had some update secrets compared to the last couple updates where we really had no secrets. I'm hoping that when they get back to revamping stuff, there'll be more secrets, because maybe there'll be revamped animations we won't know about, or some revamped items we won't know about, or just some like hidden changes, because I think update secrets are really fun, and so I hope we start getting more of those again. I once again also plan to make a video after I've kind of gone over the jobs and gone over Pizza Planet and see how the pay has changed, because I've heard people say it's less, but some people say it's about the same. So I'm gonna look into that and see exactly what changed, as well as like the best strategies to use when you're going about now. For example, the hospital fee. BLOXBURG said that you can use items in your backpack to boost your moods. Is that really true. Does your backpack really have everything you need to boost your moods? And if so, what are the best items to boost it quickly? And same for the towing fee. How to, like, avoid it, and are there parking spots you can just, like, get used to always parking in? And when it comes to jobs, is there now maybe one job that pays a little bit more than all the rest? Or even when you're doing jobs, is it better to be going faster, or slower, or does it matter? Like Bloxburger, for example. Unless they changed it, it doesn't matter how fast you work, because you're going to get paid based on your time. So if it took you 10 seconds to put in an order as a cashier, you'll make $500, but if it took you 30 seconds, you'll make like $1,500 just because you spent more time. So like in the end, it evens out and you basically get the same every single time you work. So I'm curious if all the jobs work that way. It's just going to be kind of looking into all of that, and I'll let you guys know all about what I find. And maybe there's a new best job that pays the most. Maybe there's a new job we should all be working at. But as always, if you enjoyed, thumbs up the video, consider subscribing, and have a wonderful rest of your day.